Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So it's been a while since my last scooter review video, but it did pretty well and I really enjoyed making it, so here we are again for another one. So I have a little bit of bad news to start off this video. As you know, the previous video I did was about my 2020 eMove Cruiser, and I think I hit around 5,000 miles during that video or something. So I got another about 1,000, maybe a little bit more. Maybe, I think I had like 6,100 miles on it now. Just as I hit the 6,200 mile mark, I think it was. The scooter, all of a sudden, I was riding it, and all of a sudden it died. The voltage meter still lit up, like it still showed like a full charge, 57 volts or whatever. But the display won't turn on. You can see 57 volts. It just won't do anything. It was just working like 2 minutes ago. So yeah, I had to walk it to work and back that day, which kind of sucked, and I still have no idea what it is. Just today, actually, I ordered a new controller for it, so I'm going to see if that's what the issue is, and then I'm probably going to sell that off because I'm going to be talking about the new scooter I got in today's video, and that would be a INMOTION RS. So I'm sure you've probably already seen many reviews of the scooter, and you've heard good things, which I've heard good things as well, so I was like, alright, here we go. This should be a scooter that can last me as long as that one, if not longer, I hope. So I ended up buying it. I did get it used, so I got it used with about 200 miles on it, and it's sitting at about 700 miles as of this video, because I put like 40 miles on it today for the range test during this video. So it's sitting around 700 miles, so I'm going to call this my 700 mile review of the INMOTION RS, and I'm going to go in depth of what broke, what I like, what I dislike, and all of that fun stuff. So let's get started. So basically the story starts February 1st. I bought the scooter used from this dude, and it had about 280 miles on it. I think I put about 6 miles on it the first day I had it. We'll just call it 286 miles on the first day. And I had no issues with it that day. It had a full charge. I rode it to work and back, and I had no issues. So then February 5th, I actually put 370 miles on it. So literally within 5 days, I put like 100 miles on the thing. This is just in general. Is occasionally, like if I'm like light on the throttle or something, it'll give me a 117, I think it is. It'll just randomly give me a 117 air code. And then it'll last for like 5 seconds, and then it'll go away, and it'll be just fine again. And I think I've only experienced that once or twice during the time I've had it. So I'm not sure what that's about. It hasn't done it in a long time, so I don't know if it was just something I did wrong. But I've adjusted the settings, I've adjusted to everything how I like it, and ever since then, no issues. So if any of you know what that would be, let me know. If any of you with the INMOTION RS have had that issue. Then it looks like February 10th, I put 450 miles on it. So I've really been racking up the miles those first 10 days. So that's nearly 200 miles in about 10 days. That's pretty wild. Yeah, I really had no issues with it up until this point, besides those 117 codes, which I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Also, another thing that happened during that time frame was the front right deck LED. That went out. I don't know if that's common or not, but during that time the front right it completely died. Like, it's not even turning on at all. But the rest of the three worked fine, and the headlight worked fine. Everything worked. So it was just that deck light didn't work, which didn't really bother me because the rear ones are the blinkers, not the front ones. Anyway, then by February 18th, it looks like I had 580 miles on the odometer. 18 days, I put 300 miles on it. As you can tell, I use a scooter to commute to work every day, and I use it to go basically everywhere I need to go. That's why so many miles are being put on it so quickly. That's the only reason why I had so many miles on my cruiser. But at this point, besides the two issues that I told you about, nothing else happened. So let's move on. Well, I guess it actually takes us to today. Today I hit 680 miles on the odometer. So today I have put officially 400 miles on it myself. And the only other issue that cropped up recently in those last 100 miles was the rear left LED went out on the deck. It still works. It's just really dim compared to the others. So like you can still see it if you look close, but it's just super dim. So really the only issue I've had with it was the deck LEDs going out. I'm not sure if that's common or not, but it doesn't seem like it's too hard to replace. There's a scooter reviewer on YouTube, Ginger on Wheels. He took the whole thing apart, and it looks like it just kind of bolts on there, and you could just pull that whole wire out and just disconnect it, put the new one in, as far as I can tell. So eventually I'll probably get new ones. But for now, it's not a big worry. But yeah, other than that, that's the only issue I've had with it. And I've been driving it like crazy. I've been putting all the miles on it really quick. So pretty impressive so far, I must say. So yeah, that's basically it for the issues on the scooter. I'll briefly go over the specs of the scooter just in case you don't know. It has a 72 volt, 2880 watt hour battery. I believe it's a Samsung battery. It has two 2000 watt motors with a peak of 8400 watts of power. They say climb hills with ease on it all over the place, and from experience, they are correct. It definitely climbs hills with ease. It has a 330 pound max rider weight, 11-inch tires. The scooter weighs 128 pounds, and the big one for me was actually the IP rating. It's IPX6 for the body, and the battery itself is actually IPX7. So if you wanted to, you could submerge the battery. I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's a $1,500 battery, but you know, you could if you wanted to. There's so many things you can adjust in the app. You can adjust the front and rear motor power. You can adjust the braking force. You can even view like each individual cell voltages and temperatures in the app. And if you look inside the deck, I'll see if I can find a picture. It's super neat and tidy. So if anything ever does go wrong, it seems super easy to replace stuff, which is definitely a huge plus. They claim a top speed of 68 miles an hour. The fastest I've taken it was 60. I definitely had more in it, but it's my first time ever going that fast. So the range is 100 miles on the scooter. That's what they claim, at least. I would say you probably average around, you could probably get 70-80 miles if you're lucky, if you go slow. But we'll get onto the range test a little later in this video. It has dual charge ports, so if you wanted to, you could get another charger, and I think that cuts your charge time down to like 4 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. So that's pretty good. The suspension is also fully adjustable, so you can raise it up or lower it. So if you want to go off-roading, you can raise it up. Or if you want to do more street riding, you can keep it lower. It's pretty cool. I will say it's kind of gimmicky though. Like if you really want to, it's not easy to adjust it. I mean, it took me a good probably hour to do it. It's super difficult. I mean, it was my first time adjusting it, so maybe it gets easier, but honestly, I just left it where it comes stock. I think it's like the second highest level. I find that to be most comfortable, and it clears pretty much all the bumps you'll need to clear. Also, the handlebars are adjustable. They have little writing on the side, so you can see what level you have it raised to. The suspension is hydraulic, so you can adjust it. There's a little knob on top of the shock. You can adjust it. I think that's pretty cool. That's my first time experiencing that. The scooters I had before, well, especially the Cruiser, had pretty bad suspension on it. I never replaced it or anything, so it was kind of chattery and loud. This one though, it just glides over bumps. It's a very, very comfortable ride. I will say though, I like the handlebars to be down as far as they can go, because the handlebars, they kind of swoop back, and it gets a little awkward. So I just keep them down further, and it keeps them away from me a little bit. But you can adjust the handlebars if you want to. It's just a standard bike mount, so you can put any handlebars you want on there, which I haven't done yet, but I might do in the future. And honestly, those are all the main specs of the scooter. That's everything that's went wrong with it, which isn't much. I should also mention, I have tested the IP rating. I left it out in the rain once. It was downpouring pretty hard all day at work, and it survived just fine. I put a little plastic bag over the handlebars to keep water out of there just in case, but I think it would be fine either way. So yeah, that's really all I have for now. I have a range test I want to show you guys. I took the same exact route I took the Cruiser on, so I want to compare and see the range on the Cruiser versus this one, and then we'll move on to the lighting after that. I'm going to show you guys the lights that broke, and I want to show you how the headlight works at night and all that fun stuff. So let's move on to the range test real quick. Alright guys, so I have no idea how this is going to sound. I just got this helmet that I have on not too long ago, and I don't really have an audio solution for this, but I'm hoping it works. I just put my normal recorder inside of my helmet. So anyway, as you can see, we've got our INMOTION RS here. I'm recording this before the rest of that video, so sorry if I miss any references I made or anything during that time. But right now I'm going to be doing a range test on this scooter. It's going to be the same one I took the previous scooter on. It's going to be going up to the Goodwill that I went to last time, and then we're going to come back here and see how much range we have at the end. As you can see, we have a full charge. We went 0 miles. We have 653 miles, so we're going to hit the 700 mile mark on this trip. And if we connect Bluetooth here, you can see 100% charge, 0 miles, 83 volts, 82.7 I guess. And if we head over to battery information, you can see all of the specs on this battery. 17 full charge cycles, the software versions, the voltages, and all of the other stuff about the battery, and all of the cell voltages. Okay, that's the status of the INMOTION RS right now. We're gonna get out on the road here. I'm gonna try to keep the same speed. So on the cruiser I went around 28 the whole time, I think. So I'm gonna try to keep that same speed on here and see what the range is on this one compared to that. And yeah, let's get going. Alright, so we are here at a Walmart, just like we were last time. And we have gone 5 miles on this trip. This one over here says 4.9, but you know, close enough, I guess. Take a look at our battery. Looks like 93% left and 81.5 volts. I was holding 28 to 30 the whole time, even on the main road. So that's what we've got so far. Pretty good, pretty good. I don't remember where the cruiser was at this point, but so far so good on this. I'm gonna try to get some live footage as I'm riding as well at some point, just like I did with the cruiser. Hopefully this time with audio though, now that I have this audio setup. I don't even know if you guys can hear me well. If not, I might just use the mic from the camera, but you know, either way, so far so good. We're definitely gonna make it. I have no worries about this one with range anxiety at all, especially going like 28 to 30. I never had any with the cruiser either, but this one has quite a bit bigger of a battery. But to be fair, I am also using dual motor mode on this trip, so I'm using both motors. It's better if you have dual motors to use both motors, otherwise you might overheat like the controller or something using one motor. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get some cinematic shots here, and then we'll continue this ride. Alright, so this is my janky recording setup. It's just my phone mounted to the mount that I have for it normally. And then my janky audio setup, but you know what? It works, alright. Here we are on the INMOTION RS. It's super stable feeling, super well built. I would say the only thing I have with it, I don't know if it's just mine or if they all do it, but occasionally, like if you hit a decent sized bump, you will definitely feel, or you'll hear like a creaking sound. It sounds like it's coming from where the deck and the stem mount. It sounds like it's coming from there. I could be wrong, but that's where it sounds like it's coming from. Other than that, though, I mean, this thing is super stable. I mean, it's really nice to drive. I'm not gonna lie. Compared to the cruiser that I had before. I mean, obviously, it's not really a comparison, but, like, the speed difference and everything, but, let me pass this guy. So, yeah, obviously, it's not really a comparison with the speed difference and just the total build quality, but in terms of, like, range, well, I guess we're gonna figure that out now. I'm going 28 right now, the same as I went before. I believe the cruiser had a 30 amp hour battery, I think so, something around there. This one has a 40 amp hour battery, but it also weighs a whole lot more, and I'm also using dual motor mode, which I'm not sure if you lose range or if you gain range by going the same speed but in dual motor. That's something I'm gonna have to look into because I really don't know, but just putting it out there, I'm using dual motor mode, and I've been trying to keep it consistently 28, 27 to 30 this whole way, and it's super easy to maintain a speed with the sine wave controller. I know the newer cruisers had a sine wave controller as well, but the one I had was a 2020 model and I did not have that. So, and as for like maintaining a speed, I like to use cruise control. I know it's controversial, but personally I like it, and it's super easy to set on this compared to the other one. You literally, it's just a button. I'll see if I can throw a clip of it on screen now, but it's literally just a button. You push it and then it sets whatever speed you were at, and it just maintains it. I like it a whole lot better, and the display is nice and easy to read. The horn is super loud. I don't know if you can hear that through the helmet or not, but very loud, so people can actually hear you. Although I do wish on this that there was a bell, because the horn is honestly a little too loud, and if you're on a trail like I am right now, It's a little jarring. As for the suspension feel, it's super solid. I mean, you might be able to see me in the reflection right there bouncing. I don't know. I like it. The Cruiser one, ever since I had it, I don't know if it was just mine, but it would always it would make so many loud noises. The suspension, the rear especially. To be fair, I never changed that suspension. That's still the original suspension. But you know, this one is nice and quiet. So all in all, this one just feels so much more well built. The braking power on it. The Cruiser, it's supposed to have regen braking, but I never felt it personally. This one though, you don't even have to use the brake pads half the time. The regen braking is so strong. I keep it a little less than 50 though, because it's a little too strong. I don't like that. I like having a little more control. Other than that though, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have anything else to say to you right now about this thing. I'm just gonna keep on going. We're 8 miles in. Maybe once we get around the 10 mile mark or 15 mile mark, I'll do another little update of where we are, or whenever we lose our first bar of battery, I will. And other than that, that's all I got for you. Let's continue this time lapse. Alright, so here we are, kind of in the middle of nowhere on this trail, and we have just lost our first bar of battery. We have gone 14.1 miles according to this, 14 miles according to that, and we have just lost our first bar of battery. As you can see on the app, we have 79% battery, 79.5 volts. Here's all the specs, and then here is all the battery information now. Voltages. Just pause the video if you need to see anything. But yeah, there are all the specs as of now. I might record a little bit more cinematic shots right here because this is kind of a nice area actually. And then we'll get back on the road. Alright, so here we are at Goodwill. According to this, we went 18.9 miles, and according to this, we have gone 19 miles. So on the battery, we have lost only 1 bar getting here, and if we look on the app, we have about 72% battery remaining with 78 volts left. And on here, it's claiming 19.7 miles, so they're both a little different. But here it is. We've only lost 1 bar of battery getting here. So we'll see if we can only lose 1 bar battery on the way back, possibly. That would be kind of sweet, but anyway, I'm going to go see what's in here, and then we'll hit the road again. So you can see we got the GX45 here to Goodwill. $9. I'm assuming that's just for the amp, though. Well, these speakers do not go with it, but I'm assuming that's what they were using to test it. No? I don't know what that's there for, though. Let's see what else we've got here. Philips. Set. And then I'm assuming you just push that. Yeah. Close. Kind of piece of crap. So we got some surround speakers or something over here. Probably went with some sort of amplifier that's not here, or one that I'm just missing. So here's the speakers for it. Seem to be in good shape. Looks like that's what all we've got now. The rest of this is just like kitchen appliances and stuff. Well, you know, I'm not really interested in a GX45 since I've already had one, but there's one here at Goodwill. Well, off we go. Alright guys, so we're on the road again. We have went about 3 miles, it looks like, 3 to 4 miles since we've left Goodwill. Well, we're still holding strong with our 4 bars of battery. There is one thing I did want to mention, actually. That's why I wanted to record this video real quick. Something I've noticed, I don't know if it's just because of the twist throttle, which I'm thinking about replacing. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But, well, for one, I'm so used to the trigger throttle. But you can't really do that with this. So I'm thinking about getting the thumb throttle. I guess there's a thumb throttle they sell for this, like a horizontal one. And apparently it's supposed to give you a lot more control. Because it just, it's something about it. While you're like riding, you don't have much control over the right brake. So I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, it's not bad, but personally, I don't like it. So I'm thinking about doing replacing that. So I'm not sure if it's an issue with just the throttle or if it's something with the scooter. But I've noticed, like right now, I'm gonna let off, and it doesn't do it every time. But you see, it didn't do it that time. But sometimes when you let off and then hit the throttle again, it just won't move for like a couple seconds, and then it'll finally kick in. Let's go 30, slow down a little bit, back on, right there, and then right there it kicked back on. So it only does it sometimes, but it's super annoying when it does. I'm not sure what the deal is, but it's definitely something I hope that the thumb throttle fixes. I've also heard a lot of people complain. I don't know what, it's a damn like truck. Let me see if I can get you guys to see this. There you go. What the hell? Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pass this dude. Okay. Anyway, that was weird. But anyway, yeah, so that's the weird issue with the throttle. So I'm wondering if that'll maybe fix it. Anyway, that's the main thing I wanted to mention was the throttle. Otherwise though, this thing is nice and solid. I still feel damn comfortable on this thing. And I've been going for 25 miles now, so hopefully that gives you a sign of how nice this thing is to drive. The steering damper, I've heard a lot of complaints about the steering damper. Personally, I haven't had much issues with it. A lot of people say they got stem wobble. The fastest I've gotten it up to was 60, and it felt smooth as butter. So I don't know, maybe some of them are better than others, who knows, but I've had no problems with it. I've heard people say that if you put like a little piece of rubber or something on it somewhere, it helps. I'm not really sure, but that's about it I've got for you guys for now. I am gonna keep on going here, and I'll catch up with you guys maybe once I hit 30 miles on the trip, or whenever I lose my fourth bar of battery. So I will see you guys later. Alright, so here we are, kind of on a busy road here, and you can see we've gone, according to this, 27.5 miles, and according to this, 28 miles, and we've just lost our fourth bar of battery, so now we have 3 bars left. Here are the stats according to the app. 59% battery with 75.7 volts left. Here's the rest of the specs. Here are the rest of the specs for the battery. Just pause if you need to read anything. Alright, so yeah, there is our fourth bar of battery gone. Let's see what our percentage is by the end. I think we're gonna end with 3 bars of battery as well, because we don't have too much further to go, I don't think. So let's continue the trip and see where we end off. Alright, so here we are at the end of our trip. You can see we have 39 miles on here, but we have 40 miles on here. We still have a half battery remaining. And here is what the app is saying. See, we have 41% battery left, and we have 72.3 volts. And here are the rest of the specs. And here's all the battery information now, if you'd like to pause and read it. But yeah, there we go. There is the range on the INMOTION RS. That is seriously impressive. You could almost do that whole trip all over again and get home just barely. Maybe if you went a little, like if you went 20 the whole way there and back, you might be able to do this whole trip over again on one single charge. Now that is impressive. So you could probably easily go 40 miles, like keeping up with traffic and everything just fine with this. So that is seriously impressive. I don't remember what the range on the cruiser was after this, but I'll have to go double check that. But that's about it. That is the end of this live footage section. Let's get back to the main part of the video, which I think we're going to be doing. I think the plan is I'm going to be talking about the lighting system on the scooter after this. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on to that. Alright, and welcome back. So the range definitely impressed me quite a bit, and it definitely beat the cruiser. Although I'm still really impressed with the cruiser. It had so much range, but the thing is, this one can go a lot faster than the cruiser and still be able to make it there and back just fine. So that's a huge step up, and yeah, I am glad I ended up buying this scooter and none of the other scooters. But putting range to the side, let's move on to the lighting system and my final thoughts of the scooter. So the lighting system on the scooter is actually really good. The one complaint I have is the headlight. Now, you've probably heard this many times about the scooter, but the headlight on it kind of sucks. It's definitely powerful, like you can see way in front of you with it, but the beam is so narrow and you can't see anything around you. So it kind of makes it useless, but not really at the same time. It's really weird. I think it's definitely more powerful than the cruiser light, but just the beam is so narrow on it, it's not really helpful on anything else but like a sidewalk or something. I've heard of people that put Wolf King headlights on there somehow. They like resolder the wires onto it. I might give that a go at some point in the future, but for now I'm just using my handlebar mounted light that I had with the other scooters. It works fine. The previous owner actually included a light bar that came on the handlebars as well, so that plus the handlebar light and then the stock light, it's plenty. As for the turn signals, they're actually super visible, especially from the front, even during bright daylight. They are definitely the most useful turn signals I've seen on an electric scooter. The rear ones can be a little bit dim during the day. They're still visible, but they're not quite as bright as I'd want them to be. But during the nighttime, all the lights are great on the scooter. The one big issue though that I've had with the scooter is the deck lights going bad. I've had the front right one go bad, and now just recently I've had the left rear one go out, as I've probably mentioned in the beginning of this video. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. It's kind of frustrating, especially with the low miles that are on this scooter. But the good news is they seem really easy to replace, so hopefully eventually I'll get around to that. I guess people behind me don't know if I'm turning left or not, so whatever. But speaking of those deck LEDs, they are super bright, and they kind of reflect off the swing arms, so it kind of makes them glow a little bit. I just wish there was a little more lighting on the sides. It's kind of missing some, like at least like a logo light or something. I think that would look pretty cool. But all in all, the lighting is still really good on the scooter, and I have no complaints. Besides the headlight. The headlight has got to go at some point. Also, I should mention the deck LEDs on the front do not act as turn signals. They are just always on. The ones on the handlebars are the ones for the turn signals, and the ones on the deck are just there for looks, basically. But the rear deck lights, those ones act as turn signals. But yeah, for nighttime riding, I would recommend a handlebar mounted light, just so you can actually see what's in front of you and around you. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend going any more than like 20 miles an hour with the stock light. It's just really not enough. And yeah, all in all, I think the lighting is better on this than the cruiser, for sure. So all in all, my final thoughts on the scooter, I love it. The speed and just the adrenaline rush it gives you is just unmatched. I've never ever experienced this before on a scooter. In terms of reliability, so far it seems alright, besides the lights going bad. I don't know what the deal with that is, but hopefully it'll last me at least the 6,000 miles the cruiser lasted me, which I think it should. Even if something goes bad, everything seems super easily repairable in that scooter, which is definitely a huge plus. And the bonus of the app giving you all kinds of information about the scooter if anything does go bad, that's also a huge plus. And all in all, I don't really see anything that would make me concerned about the reliability of the scooter. Everything seems solidly built. So hopefully I'll be coming back to you guys with a 5,000 mile review just like I did with my cruiser at some point in the future, is if this scooter does hold up, which it should hold up for the price. And yeah, I have no regrets buying the scooter, and I see this thing lasting a long time. So if you guys were considering buying the scooter, so far I recommend it. I really love the scooter. It's well built. I use it to get to work and back every day. I pretty much use it to get everywhere actually. I just recommend wearing at least a helmet or something when riding this because it's super fast. Eventually I would like to get new handlebars because it's like a standard mount for handlebars, so I'd like to get a new one eventually. I just don't like how they swoop back so much personally, so I have them like lowered down to make it more comfortable. Other than that though, I think that's about all I have for you guys today. If you guys would like to see more electric scooter videos on this channel, definitely let me know in the comments below, and also let me know by subscribing to the channel. But with that, I think I'm out. I believe this scooter is for sale on Voro Motors, which I'll leave a link to down in the description below. I'll also leave a link to my cruiser review down in the description below. I also recommend that scooter quite a lot. Also, just letting you know, a video of the cruiser coming soon. I'm gonna let you guys know what's going on with the cruiser, and I'm going to be attempting to replace the controller in that scooter as well, which we'll see how that goes. So yeah, look forward to that guys, and that's all I got for you today. Have a good night.